Okay, we're going to take a look at the area of a parallelogram. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the area of a rectangle, because that's one that you've done before. So if you remember from elementary school, we usually found the area of a rectangle to be the length multiplied by the width. Okay, and another word for length is the base. And another word for the width is actually called the height. So you may have learned it to be the area of a rectangle is the base multiplied by the height, or BH. Now we're going to take a look at this parallelogram. Okay, and it looks pretty similar to a rectangle. The only difference is, of course, that the sides do not meet at a 90-degree angle, whereas in a rectangle, they are exactly at 90 degrees. And the base and the height must always meet at 90 degrees. So that kind of leads us to believe, how is the parallelogram like a rectangle? So I'm going to show you a little something now. If we trace right along here, and we meet at 90 degrees like that, we've made a little triangle shape. And if I pick that up and move it over here, you notice it actually cuts it off just like as if it was a rectangle. So can you see, if I cut this piece off right here and I move it over here, I have a new shape, which is a rectangle. And since we know that the area of a rectangle is base times height, we can also use the same formula now to know that the area of a parallelogram is the base, because it's the same distance, times the height. And this height right here is the exact same as that height over here. So we start out with the parallelogram and call this the base. This line down here, which meets at 90 degrees, is the height. So the area of a parallelogram is the base times the height, the same as a rectangle. So if we do a little example, and I show you that the base is 10 and that the height, my goodness, that's a squiggly line, is 4, and we'll say this is centimeters. The area of this parallelogram is base times height, so it's going to be 10 times 4. And of course, everybody should know that that is 40. Now, there's a really important thing that you need to consider now. We're talking about the area, which is all of the inside of the parallelogram. And when we're talking about the area, we are talking about square units. I'm not sure, there we go, if you're familiar with that, but this is how we write it. So our area of a parallelogram is 40 centimeters squared.